Government makes a bid to acquire DCP as Colgate-Palmolive announces its intention to shut down the plant. Agreement between Dominica and Antigua on how many candidates should contest the election for Commonwealth Secretary General. And Martinique seeks greater cooperation with the rest of the OECS. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details coming up. First up in the news, Prime Minister Skerrit has released a statement on plans by Colgate-Palmolive to shut down DCP. The closure of that company would mean a significant loss of jobs. Here is the Prime Minister's full statement.
We were informed by the principals of Colgate-Palmolive, the company which owns Dominica Coconut Products Limited, that they will be closing down their operations in Dominica. And so they wanted to come to inform us of this decision. I want to say from the outset that we empathize with the employees of DCP, 94 of them, who will be affected by the closure of the plant. And to say to them that the government will provide them with all necessary support to mitigate against the loss of their employment. And of course, we will meet with them very soon to discuss with them the way forward insofar as their own individual needs. As you know, some time ago, DCP did in fact release a number of employees, and the government provided tremendous support to those who were affected. I would also say to the nation that we have in fact placed a proposal. That is to say, the government has placed a proposal before Colgate-Palmolive for the acquisition of the property at DCP. It is the government's intention to continue the operations once we can settle on this agreement that we put forward before Colgate-Palmolive for the acquisition of the property. I intend to meet with the president of Colgate-Palmolive very soon, so that we can advance the conclusion or the discussions with regards to the proposal that we have proposed to Colgate-Palmolive. We do believe that the factory plays an important role in our national economy for the foreign exchange, the creation of employment, and also manufacturing. Just to say that some years ago we had in fact offered to purchase Colgate-Palmolive and to even expand to reintroduce a number of the of the products that were removed from the line of production some years ago. We have reintroduced, albeit a modified proposal to Colgate-Palmolive. I did so today, and we look forward to hearing from them as soon as possible. But for the immediate, our concern is with regards to the employees. We have spoken to Colgate-Palmolive, and we have said to them very clearly from the government standpoint that while we recognize that the laws make certain provisions for severance, and it defines the benefits which each employee would be entitled to based on the number of years employed. But we also called on Colgate-Palmolive to go beyond the legal mandate and to provide additional financial and other benefits to the employees. They have given us the assurances that they will go beyond what the legislation has dictated, and we look forward to them honoring that particular commitment to us with regards to the employees. But we'll certainly meet as a government with the employees soon to discuss with them their own views on the way forward. And just to reiterate that the government has in fact put forward to Colgate-Palmolive a proposal for the purchase/acquisition of the entire property at Belfast. And we look forward to a positive and favorable response from Colgate-Palmolive. As you know, this government, like other governments, have in the past provided tremendous concessions and incentives to Colgate-Palmolive from inception. Since we've been in government for the last 15 years, we have provided Colgate-Palmolive with several concession regimes. As a matter of fact, as we speak, they do in fact have a concession regime based on their own request to us, which still has a life of several years. So we have been providing with support. Obviously, it's a private company, and they, like anybody else, they will take their own decisions that they believe that will be in the best interest. But as to say that we believe that this operation is important to our national economy, and we'll make every effort to acquire it, obviously through a private treaty with the principals. And we hope that they will take a favorable decision in respect to our proposal.
In other top stories, the Prime Ministers of Antigua and Dominica will have to agree on fielding one candidate among the two countries for the Commonwealth Secretary-General elections.
OECS heads of government have reached consensus that only one person among the two candidates coming from OECS states should pursue the Commonwealth Secretary-General leadership race. Dominican-born Baroness Patricia Scotland, a former Attorney General of the UK, is Dominica's candidate. Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has nominated Sir Ronald Sanders, Antigua's ambassador extraordinary to the US and OAS. Sanders is believed to have the support of 7 Caribbean nations. The decision to propose one candidate for that election came about at Wednesday's meeting of OECS heads.
It was agreed among the heads that given that the two possible candidates at this time are OECS citizens, that the leadership of both of the countries involved will meet, and that by the time we leave here next week, we'll be going to the common meeting with one recommendation coming from the Caribbean region. We believe that is absolutely necessary, because it makes no sense going there with two candidates, reducing the possibility and having ourselves eclipsed because of the lack of unified effort around a particular candidate.
Trinidad has since withdrawn its candidature for that office and is backing Sir Sanders. Prime Minister Mitchell says Grenada has also declared support for Antigua's candidate.
Dominica does have a candidate, and the Prime Minister is going to be discussing with his colleague in Antigua. And that's why when we leave here, we'll have one candidate, and whoever that candidate is, Grenada will be supporting. If we had the candidate finalized right now, we will tell you.
Botswana and Tanzania have also nominated candidates for the post. The new Secretary-General will be elected at the next Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta from the 27th to 29th of November 2015. 53 countries are members of the Commonwealth. Election to the post is open to any member.
There is still an opportunity for other members of the Commonwealth to also put forward a candidate. We are in a situation where we have 2 candidates now from the Caribbean region, and it's important going forward to consider which of the candidates are likely to be able to command the majority votes within the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth Secretary-General is elected to a maximum of 2 4-year terms, and the incumbent Kamalesh Sharma of India is due to demit office in April 2016 when his 2nd term expires. Idona Jean-Baptiste, Channel 5 News.
The region has come one step closer to creating a single insurance market for the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Andrea Louis reports.
That was the aim of a one-day consultation held in Dominica on Wednesday. Workshops involving representatives from the insurance industry, insurance regulators, ECCU governments, and an international expert have been taking place around the region. The goal of the project is to create a more efficient and better regulated insurance and pension market in the ECCU.
In very broad, simple terms, you're looking at a concept where you will be treating the Eastern Caribbean as one jurisdiction, where you have one regulator, one market, and a uniform piece of legislation. In order to achieve that, though, there's a lot of work to be done. For example, we are spending a lot of time looking at the features of the insurance bill. We want to make sure that the insurance bill is of an international standard, that we have sufficient input, consultation from all stakeholders.
The elements of the project are the passage of a uniform, modern legislation through the ECCU and the creation of a single, well-resourced insurance and pension fund regulator.
A key feature of the market is the fact that insurers will be eligible to operate in all participating states. So an insurer that is licensed in Dominica will be eligible to apply to the Commission for approval to operate in Grenada, in Dominica, in St. Lucia, in all of the islands who have signed on to the agreement to establish the single market. In terms of some of the timelines we're working at, we are now at the stage where we've had 2 drafts of the insurance bill prepared and circulated, and we've had comments received on that.
A 3rd draft of the bill was recently dispatched, after which some more fine-tuning will be done.
Once the bill is passed, the next step is to look at the establishment of the Commission, and the Commission, once up and running, then we'd look at the launch of the market. Hopefully we're looking at the market being launched in 2017.
The project, which commenced in 2012, was in response to the challenges caused in the region by the collapse of the CL Financial Group. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And the fight to promote the rights of children continues, and this time with the observance of Universal Children's Day. Universal Children's Day is celebrated annually on the 20th of November. Lurian Graham Carter has more.
This is a day set aside to recognize children who have been abused in one way or another, and also to promote children's rights. Coordinator of the Child Abuse Prevention Unit says every year they partner with NGOs and engage in children in activities.
On Friday, we ask that the schools do something with the children to remember those who have been victims of child abuse, those who have been survivors of child abuse, and also we want to also remember children who were traumatized by Tropical Storm Erica, because it's all about children on the 20th.
On Saturday, advocates against child abuse will participate in a walk from the Eddie Tulo Park in Canefield to the Convent Prep in Roseau at 6:30 a.m.
We'll have a mini concert, and that concert will take the form of different activities by children, and also they will be putting on different performances in choral speech and song and so on. We'll also have adults, and the adults that will be there, they will be performing songs in relation to children, and it will be all denouncing violence against children. So we're asking everyone to come and participate. You know, lots of persons have been speaking against the ills against our children, and we're hoping that we see you on Saturday. You have been speaking a lot, so let's see your words into actions by walking, and every step that you take will be a step denouncing violence against children.
Lewis says the Child Abuse Prevention Unit continues to do its part to help children who are survivors of abuse and were traumatized by Erica.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, what the President thinks of delayed work at Operation Youthquake. Thank you for staying with us. Martinique is looking at possibilities of forging deeper relations with its OECS counterparts to advance healthcare in the region.
Earlier this year, Martinique became the first French territory to join the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. Since its associate membership within the OECS, it has offered its hand mainly in boosting access to healthcare for Caribbean people. Representative of the Regional Council of Martinique, Jacques Roussel, told a closing news conference of the OECS authority that there are various sectors within Martinique which will deepen relations with the OECS.
In this region, if one country is sick, is ill, the next very soon will become ill, because the virus don't know about the frontier. They just cross over all the time. So we have to work together to give good health to the population. And this is an asset very important also for tourism, because tourists don't come in places where you have epidemics.
Crusoe says Martinique has started a company in the interest of early detection and treatment of cancer, with the possibility for other countries to participate.
new technologies are being developed on cancer, and it is possible to detect very early the development of a cancer, and it is much easier to cure it at that time by using the technology of cyclotron. But this is very expensive, and we cannot do it alone, and it is necessary to have a large market to do that. So Martinique is engaging in establishing a cyclotron, and Martinique count a lot on the rest of the Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean, to participate in this endeavor, because it will not be economical to do it for the population of Martinique alone.
And the services sector awareness campaign launched on Wednesday seeks to sensitize Dominicans to the importance of the services industry. Andrea Louis has more.
The campaign is organized by the Dominica Coalition of Services Industry. One of the campaign's goals is to improve local services and increase their importance to the country. The theme is resilience and expansion through services.
In fact, the buzzword now is resilience. We are resilient people coming from the havoc that Erica caused us, and we are still standing, we are still smiling, and we are still seeking to put together a plan of action to enable us to rebuild, recover, and restore our nation to what it ought to be.
This campaign brings the potential of developing the capacity for export within the services sector, which is among the objectives of the DCSI.
To provide to service providers the knowledge and export opportunities, to organize trade missions to identify the export market opportunities, to encourage service providers to engage in developing export programs and promotional activities through collaboration locally, regionally, and internationally, and to educate the service providers on relevant aspects of the CARICOM single market and economy, more popularly known as the CSME.
Dominica's priority services sectors are tourism, culture, and the professional services. Douglas says an improved services sector can help reduce the country's dependence on agriculture.
The ultimate goal is to transition away in time from strict reliance on the agricultural manufacturing sectors by further developing and further investing in the services sector to increase in our export earnings ultimately. Our roadmap is laid out in the Dominica National Export Strategy, which is a plan of action aimed at achieving the transformation of Dominica's export sector and identifies the priority services sectors as tourism, culture, and the professional services. It is therefore fitting to state that the proper organization and management of this service sector of the economy will provide the vehicle which will drive our economic growth and development.
The Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, and the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, are among the established frameworks which can help Dominica become internationally competitive in its services sector. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
His Excellency Charles Savre, President of Dominica, has expressed disappointment that the project to repair the roof at the Operation Youthquake has not yet started.
On Thursday, the President made his yearly donation to the charitable institution from the part proceeds of the President's Charities Dinner. The President says that this year, for the third time, he's being told of the refurbishing plans and a program to repair the roof.
Notwithstanding the pledges and the commitments that have been given, that the project has not yet commenced. Last year at this time, the Ambassador of South Africa was with us, and she made some presentations on behalf of the Embassy of South Africa to Operation Youthquake. She has since visited again and will be leaving the Caribbean to return to South Africa.
The President says following Storm Erica, the President's Charities Foundation decided to establish a relief fund of $100,000 to assist affected schools. He says out of these activities, they would also raise funds to assist the Operation Youthquake and the Grotto Home.
What we have asked of these two institutions is a project document. That is because in our fundraising efforts, we have had an expression of interest in assisting with these two projects that we had identified, but those who have expressed an interest indicated that they would want a project document.
President Savary warned the youthquake that the window of opportunity is not open indefinitely, and they are urged to provide the document as soon as Monday. On Monday, the President's Charities Foundation will meet with interested persons for these projects.
And it's not so much the amount, but the intention behind it that counts. 3 families who suffered the ravages of Tropical Storm Erica have received checks from the DBS Board of Directors. The funds are the collective stipend from the Board of Directors of the Chairman and the Chairman of the Board. Pius Daru of Pitt Savan received a check for $600 on behalf of his family.
Actually, I have 8 children altogether. 6 of them going to school. One is not, one is about 21 years, but he's not all that. He's kind of mental, has a slight mental problem. So this check, we'll try to make good use of it.
Deborah Francis, a mother of 4 from Petit Savan, also received a check for $600. Stephen Charles from Cooley-Bistri will receive $475 for 6 months from the chairman of the board. Charles says he was the first to realize that their home was surrounded by water on the morning of the storm. He says he immediately awoke his family and instructed them to go to higher ground.
While we there, we saw the houses, the 2 houses the children was, with all their things just floating in the river, on the road, going to the sea. And what was very sad about it is when the children see that and they starting to cry and calling me, asking me what we're going to do, because look the houses and they know everything they have in the houses going away. So it was very sad.
The first check Charles received of $950 was for 2 months. That's news. Kenny Williams is next with your sports highlights.
We begin our sports package with some cricket. Johnson Charles and Andre Fletcher are the 2 possible substitutes for Volcano's right arm off-break bowler Shane Shillingford, who sustained a knee injury ahead of his game on Friday. The Dominica-based team is expected to take on rivals Leeward Islands Hurricanes for round 3 of the WICB Professional Cricket League Regional Day 4 tournament at Windsor Park on Friday. Both teams have failed to secure a win in the league so far and are hoping to be victorious. Volcanoes are now at 7 points and Hurricanes 5, with Guyana Jaguars leading the league with 35 points. The game between Windward's Volcanoes and Leeward Islands Hurricanes is expected to begin from 10 a.m. Still in cricket, Chairman of the CARICOM Subcommittee on Cricket Governance, Dr. Keith Mitchell, says leaders of West Indies cricket need to cater to the needs of people and not their own interest. At an OECS news conference on Thursday, Mitchell expressed concerns on the state of West Indies cricket and suggested a way forward that could help improve the team's competence.
I presented a short report on the initiative that the region had with respect to the way forward for West Indies cricket. After much consultation and discussions, it was agreed that we will accept and effect the decision of that distinguished panel of Caribbean citizens. We've decided that we will sacrifice the time we did not even have to ensure that we can, in fact, and move forward, get the West Indies cricket back to a point where we can start going up the ladder once again. I expect the president of the West Indies Cricket Board to respect the leadership of the Caribbean, the leadership of the people of the region, and to give effect to an urgent meeting. We expect no less. And I hope and pray what we saw was a rush of blood and not his real intention.
On the football scene, Andres Joseph and Fitz Jolly have been selected by the Caribbean Football Union to participate in the 3rd edition of the Copa Rayados International Tournament in Texas from November 25 to 30. Joseph plays for Harlem United and Jolly, Bathurst State Football Club. 208 teams will participate in the tournament, with approximately 80 of them being international. The teams will play a total of 4 matches during the course of the tournament. President of the Dominica Football Association, Glenn Etienne, says the tournament is a good opportunity for local footballers to showcase their talent, since coaches from universities in the U.S. will be present and looking for talented players. The players are expected to leave Barbados on Sunday to join their colleagues in Miami. They are due back in Dominica on the 1st of December. In some exciting domino, the first ever primary school's 4-hand domino competition will slam down at the Goodwill Primary School on Friday. 8 schools are down to compete: Mourne Prosper, St. Luke, St. Mary, Rosa Primary, Goodwill, Massac, Newtown, and Maho Primary. The event is sponsored by Giant Malt and starts at 1 p.m. And in netball, the names Raquel Marshall and Kayla Winston could be heard from the grounds of the Dominica Grammar School when the dynamic duo crushed the Wesley High 47-11 in Wednesday's version of the secondary school's netball championships. Raquel contributed 44 and Kayla 30 for Dominica Grammar School Musicland, leading their team to a win by 36 goals in the under-20 category. And as if that wasn't enough, Grammar School's under-16 team pounded Wesley High 28-3 in another humiliating defeat. Meantime, over at the Convent High School in an under-16 match, the Northeast Comprehensive took the lead when the sisters Kayla and Ethline Telemac scored 18 from 28 attempts and 2 from 10 respectively. Goodwill Secondary could only secure 5, with Zion Henderson contributing 2 from 6 shots. The schools played again for an under-20 showdown where NECS again won. The scores at the end of the match: Northeast Comprehensive 18 and Goodwill Secondary 13. We move now to the East Coast for some more netball action, where a game between home team Castle Secondary and the Isaiah Thomas Secondary ended in a 13-all draw. Brianna Challenger scored 10 for Castle, while Naisha Joseph scored 10 for ITSS. Still in netball, St. Martin Secondary and Wesley High School will go head-to-head on Friday in an under-16 and under-20 match. At the Convent High School grounds will be the venue for matches between Castle and Pierre Charles Secondary in the under-16 category, followed by a game between Dominica State College and Goodwill Secondary. That's all the time we have for sports. Join us next time.
Your weather report is next.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. Earlier infrared satellite imagery showed some multi-layered clouds across Velesa Antilles in association with an upper-level jet and a dissipating southwards moving frontal boundary. Whilst visible satellite imagery showed some occasional cloudiness across Dominica today. Radar imagery indicated just a few scattered showers across the island. Tonight's weather is expected to be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with a few scattered showers. A relative improvement in conditions can be expected tomorrow with fair to partly cloudy skies with a few scattered showers. For the marine forecast, moderate in open water with waves peaking near 5 feet. For the next 3 days, expect occasional cloudy skies and scattered showers across the island due to some weak unstable conditions. For the remainder of the Caribbean, partly cloudy to cloudy skies can be expected in association with a meandering frontal boundary. For the international cities forecast, clear skies can be expected in New York, some thunderstorm activity in Miami, partly cloudy skies in London and Caracas, and some snow expected in Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:10 a.m. and set at 5:32 p.m. For additional information, feel free to contact us at weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
The headlines again. Government makes a bid to acquire DCP as Colgate-Palmolive announces its intention to shut down the plant. Agreement between Dominica and Antigua on how many candidates should contest the election for Commonwealth Secretary General. And Martinique seeks greater cooperation with the rest of the OECS. You can email us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube page. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.